Hey everybody, I'm Kylie from the aquarium and I'm here chatting to my friend Ruby, and we're going to have a quick chat about some cool stuff that relates to the aquarium. Hey Ruby.
Hi, everybody. I'm Ruby. I am speaking to you from Vancouver, my home in East Van, from the other side of the continent, on the other side of the country. My connection to the Petty Harbor Mini Aquarium is I was lucky enough to be the founding curator of the Mini in its very first, I guess, year, where we were really just doing the pilot project to see if this could be a thing. I was lucky enough to move out there with my very good friend Melanie Knight and work on this project and meet so many wonderful people. And I am thrilled that it's still going on. And then since then, I have been back here in Vancouver and working at the Vancouver Aquarium.
Awesome. Okay, great. So, what are you doing these days to have a bit of normal in this weird time that we're in?
We are in a very weird time, and I'm staying home. I'm staying home as much as I can. And I've found actually plant therapy is really working well for me. I'm really enjoying potting some new plants, growing things on my balcony. It gets me outside a little bit, but the actual act of nurturing something and growing something that's been very therapeutic for me so far.
Cool. Very cool. Awesome. So, we'll get into a few questions here now. So, what is your first memory of the ocean?
My first memory of the ocean is from a place called Centennial Beach. And that's just in a town close to right beside where I grew up. I grew up in Ladner, BC. And Centennial Beach was a place that my parents would bring us to all the time. And the very first thing I remember about it was the beach there is really, really shallow, and when the tide is out, you can walk for kilometers before you actually get to the ocean. But as you're walking out, you walk through all of these sandbars that have big, huge tide pools, which are very, very shallow, and they warm up and they're super fun to swim in and catch fish. But my first memories would definitely be of walking out and trying to make it to where the actual ocean was, the waves were. And that was the thing that when you're so small, it takes forever. Felt like it took forever
Mm-hmm.
to walk all the way there, and just the excitement of reaching the waves. And while, splashing in the tide pools along the way, that's definitely my first memory of the ocean.
That's really cool. Nice. So, question number two. What is your favorite marine thing and why?
That is a very hard question. It's hard to pick out one favorite marine thing. And gosh, of all the animals there are in the ocean, everything. But to be honest, I think my favorite marine thing is actually the water itself. I love being around the water. I find it extremely therapeutic. I love being in it. I love floating on it.
Mhm.
I love watching it in all of its crazy forms that it comes in.
Yeah,
Um, and I find it so therapeutic just to be around the water. It's very rejuvenating for me. So of all the marine things that there are, just the water itself is probably my favorite.
that's really cool. It doesn't have to be an animal. Exactly. Could be anything. Very cool. And our third question is, what is something that you're curious about in the ocean? Like something you want to learn more about and why?
Oh gosh, there's so many. There are so many things I mean, most of the things I don't know. So I'm curious about all of it. But one thing that I'm really curious about right now, there we have these beautiful coral reefs here in our temperate ocean. And people, I mean, they're not necessarily a reef like you would imagine in the tropical oceans, but there are beautiful aggregations of corals that grow. And we know so little about temperate corals versus what knowledge base we have with tropical corals.
Mhm.
And I would love to be able to figure out how they actually can synthesize their skeletal like structures, because they use, and the ones that I'm thinking of specifically use a protein called gorgonin, and I don't really know how they are able to synthesize that. And I think if I could figure that out, we could maybe down the line, I would love to be able to propagate them, and much like they do with coral reefs in the tropics, where they can actually grow them and then transplant them back to areas where maybe they started to, not do well. I would love to be able to have that opportunity to do that. But our corals are still quite a mystery in the temperate seas, I think, throughout the world. And so that's something I'm very, very curious about. I'd love to know more about that.
Wow.
And then we also have these sponge reefs here, which have been around since like the Jurassic period.
Mm-hmm.
And they seem to have a real ability to filter tons and tons of water every day. And so that's another thing that I think we could explore a little bit more, that I'm very curious about, these sponge reefs that have been around since like the Jurassic period, and how they're helping regulate our oceans. So,
wow.
So many things. So many things.
Those are two super cool things. Those are great. Yeah. Maybe we can start some research or something.
Oh, that would be perfect. I would love that.
Yeah, we're trying to work on a cool coral program at the Petty Harbor Mini Aquarium right now, actually.
Awesome.
I'm a little bit on hold right now, but we're working on some stuff for when the world goes back to normal.
Cool. Yeah, whatever that normal is going to be.
Yeah, it'll be a little bit different, but it'll be a new normal. But that was all the questions I had for now.
Cool.
And maybe we can do another installment later.
Yeah, I would love that. Yeah. I have to say, I'm so proud and so excited about all the work that the Petty Harbor Mini Aquarium is doing. I couldn't be more excited. I'm your biggest fan. I'm so grateful for all the hard work and knowledge and everything that you share. It's so fantastic to see.
Thank you.
I love
it. Support from people like you and people all across the country is what makes that possible. And even more so now, because we all are in a weird situation and we're trying to make the best of it. That's why we know.
Yeah, we're all in it together.
All in it together. All in it together. Okay, man. We'll sign off and thank you. We'll talk soon.
Sounds good.
All right.